Hello everyone, welcome back to another video with the card index. Today we're going to be doing another deck review and we're going to review the Orbit playing cards. This is the 8th edition, or often referred to as V8 of the Orbit cards. This is a fantastic deck that I've got recently and I really like it, so I'm going to go ahead and share it with you. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it. So the first thing we're going to do is take a look at the tuck case. I really like the Orbit decks in general. I think they've done just a really good job with like keeping it focused, keeping it functional, but also just throwing in like a bunch of really cool, Easter eggs throughout the whole deck, and also just looking really good. So there's a whole bunch of things that we'll kind of get to go over with this. But yeah, starting off with the tuck case, really nice. An interesting touch is that the bottom is reserved for kind of a little logo here, and the side actually has the distribution. So it was distributed based out of San Jose, designed by Daniel Schneider, and you can go visit their website at orbit.af, which is kind of fun. But yeah, this is the 8th edition. The back of the tuck case, this is pretty standard. This is exactly what your back design is going to look like, which is very nice. I really like the back design on it. You've got the standard circle with that you kind of see with every Orbit deck, keeping in the space theme. This is obviously like, more of a Mars themed deck. We've got like the red, orange ground, and then in the Orbit you can see kind of the astronaut on both sides. This is a mirror back deck. And yeah, I think it just looks really cool. Just the circle in general is fantastic for, things like cardistry. You could even do some magic with this. But yeah, and then we've also got the trademark number, or I shouldn't say trademark, but the number 23 that you see on just about every Orbit deck. So yeah, it's got a custom seal with the standard circle. But yeah, we can go ahead and pop this open, and you see that we continue the kind of asteroid theme that's in the space there on the inside of the tuck. So kind of cool. And pulling out the cards, I won't jump into the cards yet, but we can look actually in here, and this is really cool. One of the Easter eggs I was talking about, or a couple of them, I guess. But inside the tuck case, there's actually like a message on this side here. And so it says, "Miss you, love you always, Grandma," from Chris. So that's kind of cute. And then at the bottom here, it says, "We are Orbit." So already just on the tuck case, we've got quite a few little Easter eggs. But yeah, really cool. It feels really nice. Like the edges are really crisp. The cardboard, it doesn't feel like it'll get like absolutely tattered if it's in like a backpack or something. But yeah, just straight away jumping into the deck. This is one of like the coolest looking decks I think they've released. They've done a really good job with it. I like that they have the, bordered cards, right? So you can do some magic with it. But they've got like a couple of other things with this deck too. One thing I will say is that it is a marked deck. I won't go into it. I won't spoil the surprise. But if you want to look into it, it's a super easy to read marked deck, probably one of the easiest to read I've ever seen. And I shockingly wasn't able to like locate the marking system myself, which I'm honestly kind of disappointed in, because once I like saw it, I was like, oh my God, this is so obvious. But yeah, it's extremely easy to read. So like, for example, I can just take like any card out of the middle, and we'll say like right away, this is the Ace of Diamonds, right? Oh, King of Diamonds. Well, maybe I need some work on it. Let's try this again. So if I go here, I have the 5 of clubs. So kind of cool. It's a marked deck. So you could use it for like card games or something, just as long as the people you're playing with don't know. But very cool. Another thing that's really awesome with the back design is if you riffle through it, like the asteroids aren't actually in the same spot on each card. So let me just get up nice and close, and you can kind of see for yourself how as you riffle through, you get like a really cool just animation. Really cool. But yeah, looks fantastic. We can kind of bring this up closer as well, so you can see kind of like that we got the spaceman, we have the little Mars rover there, some people on Mars. And just honestly, like this circle is so cool. I don't know what it, like how they figured it out, but like for cardistry, the circle really creates a lot of awesome effects. Like whether you're doing cuts or springs, right? You get that like kind of tubing effect with your springs, which I honestly love. I think they've done like, I just think it looks so cool. Let's see if we can get like a good angle for a spring. Yeah, or sorry, not a spring, but a dribble. But yeah, looks absolutely fantastic. Great just for cardistry in general. I swear, I wonder how many videos I'm gonna end up dropping packets on, but I feel like it's gonna get bad. But yeah, back design on this looks absolutely incredible. So yeah, let's jump right into the faces. So first thing I will note, actually that I really like about this is you get 2 bonus cards. There are no ad cards in this deck, which I am a huge fan of. I really, yeah, I honestly hate getting ad cards, but you get 2 awesome cards for Magic. First is a double backer, right? So this is great for a lot of Magic tricks. And the second one, and this is a little bit more rare with a more customized deck, but you actually get a duplicate card. And I really love that they did that, right? So if we go here, you can see we got another 8 of spades. I love it when decks of cards come with a duplicate, just because like there are so many tricks that are like absolutely incredible that you really need a duplicate card for. And especially if you're like getting into Magic or something like that, you don't necessarily always want to have to buy 2 of the same deck, right? Or if you are going to buy 2, well, you know, maybe you want to keep one sealed or something like that. Just having that duplicate card is like such a good bonus. I love it when card companies do that. So shout out to Orbit. But yeah, jumping more into the faces, right? We have 2 Jokers. These are identical as far as I know. So we can go ahead and take a look at these. Really like them. Not too much in here, right? I believe it's just like a kind of a nod to the Curiosity rover on Mars. We've got the number 23 there, which you see on just about, you know, you see throughout every Orbit deck. But those are really nice Jokers. Really like them. And just kind of like how they use the circle for the pip is also very nice. But yeah, let's jump right into the standard faces. So we have an Ace of Spades here. The Ace of Spades is really cool. Not too much there, right? You know, you have like an astronaut looking out over Mars. You've got like a space camp in the sun. Kind of a cool scene. So yeah, pretty cool Ace of Spades. Other than that, everything else is pretty standard. If you look at like the number cards, we have slightly different pips here, but for the most part, right, like this is something you could probably use for Magic without like creating too much unrest with your spectators. And then especially with like, you know, the duplicate card and the double backer, this is one that I would definitely use for Magic. Probably not in like a, you know, a super formal setting or something where people are really up close and personal. But the cool thing is too, like when we get to the face cards, these actually have quite a few little Easter eggs in them. And I'll go over a couple of them. I won't hit all of them. But for the most part, it's just like, you know, each face card is like an important person, either to the creator or just to the brand of Orbit. So, you know, that's kind of an interesting thing. A lot of custom decks do that. That's nothing too crazy. But one that I really like, this is probably the biggest one that I'm going to show off, is that the King of Spades actually has a 6 of Spades card reveal there. Let's see if I can get that in focus. So yeah, you can see right there, right, how it says like 6 of Spades. So kind of a cool little thing. I really like card reveals in normal cards, right? Not necessarily in the Jokers, because then you can really get that effect of like, oh, is this your card? And they're like, no. And you're like, oh man, like I messed it up. I think that's a really nice effect. You know, aces, pretty standard, right? We have the slightly customized pips, which we always love. Face cards here. Just the color scheme also is really nice. Like this red-orange, I think works really well. It's nice and bright, kind of loud, but not in a like overbearing way. These are the clubs, kind of a little thinner design, which I like. And then we've got the hearts, right? And so these are all looking pretty standard, pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy. But yeah, definitely looks very, very good. Man, I just can't get over like that tube effect when you do springs. But yeah, so let's jump into kind of how they handle, right? Because this is another thing that's really, really nice about them. So they are printed by the USPCC, so you're gonna get a pretty nice standard quality with them, and they're on crushed B stock, which I always think is a really nice plus. You definitely get more of that like premium feel with the custom B stock. And then with the crushed, it still feels nice and thin, and you get like some really good snap with it. So I think that is like just a really, really nice touch. But yeah, honestly, they feel fantastic. Anytime you have crushed B stock, the finish is fantastic. I'll have to look into it to see what the finish actually is. I have a feeling it's just standard air cushion. But yeah, they feel absolutely fantastic. Very crisp. One of the things that I will say too is since they have some, ultra thin borders, is that sometimes if they're not like perfectly centered, it's a little bit more obvious than in like thicker borders, right? So you can kind of see that like this border is a little bit wider than this one, and that can be a little annoying that it's just not like perfect. But overall, like the fans look incredible. Your spreads, let's get that into focus. Your spreads are gonna look incredible. Everything looks fantastic. And since you do have borders, you're gonna get some really nice, like it'll have like a little bit of give for something like a double lift, right? Or something like that. So I think as far as Magic goes, this is a top tier deck to use outside of like, a formal or up close setting. I would definitely use this for, any really Magic scenario. It's also just a really nice one to look at, This is something that I would definitely collect, keep it in my collection. But yeah, anyway, this has been the Orbit Series 8. Really can't recommend it enough. So yeah, go ahead and get you one. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Feel free to leave a comment if I got anything wrong, or if you just want to say good job. I always like that. But yeah, if that's gonna do it. Peace out.